If they've been using heavily, they'll be in detox for a few weeks before they come into group. If they're having a heavy detox, sometimes they have trouble adjusting to sleeping. But it depends greatly on what they've been using or what they've been doing. Some people come straight into group and cope really well and enjoy the support that they're going to get. And then we find out that there's a whole room full of people who share the same thing, so that normalises it. I think being in a room full of people and hearing their events, their life events and their life stories can be really helpful. Maybe someone is really worn out from caring from everybody in their life, and they may well turn to drugs and alcohol, sex and food to deal with the issue. If we don't deal with the underlying issue and just deal with the addiction on the top, there is a great danger that as they leave here after a few weeks, they may go back and start to repeat the same behaviour. So we need to really understand and get to the underlying issues of the addiction. I think group is really important because it teaches people that they need support and understanding. And I think it isn't just that they have a group in here and then they go out and they behave the same way. What we try to do is help them to build up a support and a community that they can take out with them and have beyond the treatment centre. I think we teach people to self-soothe because obviously in here they can't use the drugs. So what we try to do is get them to talk about the feelings underneath and, and then hopefully as they go out from here, they won't need those drugs. They will find the support that they do need to cope with the underlying feelings. I think a lot of people that come here have lost the ability to be with themselves. Many of them don't even like themselves very much. And it's great to see that after 5 weeks, not only are they beginning to like themselves a bit more, but also they're able to be with themselves in a way that they never were before. We have a support group on Wednesdays, which is at Harley Street, but we also encourage people to go to other meetings. So we give them a list of local meetings and we encourage them to call people beforehand so that they get some support. I suppose we like to show them that life can be fun. It isn't necessarily completely serious, that they can have fun. On Saturday night we had a group who went out bowling and I think it's really interesting to see them beginning to understand life in a different way and to not be quite so serious. Family work is especially important to me, especially around eating disorders, where one member may be not eating or overeating. So mealtimes have become especially difficult. When they come in, I think they get an awful lot out of it. It's like popping a balloon. I sort of see it much more in terms of a communication workshop where they learn to talk about things and to discuss things and for it not to become the usual arguments. And I think it really helps them to begin to deal with the feelings rather than pushing them down in a sort of constructive way. So there was this other young woman and I was really worried about her. Whenever you talked to her on your own, she was very dark and there was no hope. But when she was in group, she'd be really supportive of everyone else. But she absolutely hated herself. I mean, she really thought she was the worst person on earth. I was really getting to the end of my tether. So one day I was working with her, we were sitting in a room, and I didn't know what to do. And I looked out of the window and a robin landed and turned to her and said, "Do robins mean anything to you?" And she just broke down and burst out crying. And she said, "My gran died, and before she died, she said she would show herself to me as a robin in my darkest hour." And, it was amazing. It totally transformed our relationship, and it was as though a light went on. I mean, it wasn't always easy, but it was definitely the beginning of of a process of recovery. I love seeing people arrive on week 1 and then leaving on week 5. It's like building a wall. You start off with the bricks and then you see the wall. And that's what I love about my job. It's seeing human beings being put back together, and they're doing 90% of the work themselves. Yeah, it's really fulfilling.